Hi guys. I wanted to come on this afternoon and talk to you about the Comp Book 2020 project. This is a project from Dede Willingham, and I will put a link to her video. She talked about it, I believe it was New Year's Eve. I'm not going to tell you for sure. I'm going to double check, but I will put a link down in the description box. There is a hashtag Comp Book 2020, and I will be tagging all the videos I make for this, and there probably won't be a lot of videos, but I thought I would come on and talk to you about what I plan to do with it. Dede is the instigator of the Society of Idea Collectors project, and she has a whole entire what I should call it, a whole entire series, playlist of videos about the Society of Idea Collectors project. The Comp Book project is, to me, what she kind of wanted us to do is to take one idea, one thing that we want to learn about, one thing that we want to put into our lives through our art, through investigation, that kind of thing, to fill up an entire composition book with that kind of information. So what I want to do is, and my project is going to be national parks. Oh, there's another piece of paper in here that doesn't belong. The national park system is vast, although it may shrink if the government decides to do what they want to do. There are national parks, national monuments, national reserves, all that kind of thing. I would like to visit many, many, many of these. So researching them, finding out where they're at, things like that, is what I want to do my book about. Now, one of the things that she gives you is 5 reference books to choose. Well, I don't know that I have a single reference book on the national park system, but I do have the internet. So I will be doing a lot of my research on the internet. She talks about taking your book and creating borders and things like that in your book. I may or may not do that ahead of time. That's a blank page doesn't usually bother me. I do know that a lot of people, if you've got a blank white page, it's hard to know what to do with it. Okay, that doesn't bother me. And this book for me may not be as fancy as other people's books that are doing a lot of drawing or a lot of art, because while I will do it as an artistic idea as I can, my goal and my focus is about the investigation of what I want to learn about. So one of the things that I do want to do is tell you that I decided, after looking up things and trying to figure out things, and based on the fact that I need to know what states, what parks are in, and that kind of thing. And there are lists where they're broke down by state. I think I actually have a list that the main parks I have listed by state. But part of my research is to find out what parks are where, so that I can add them to our travel plans. That is another part of it, is to add them to our travel plans. So I'm going to break this book up with a section for general information, a few pages for each state, that kind of thing. And to do that, I need some tabs. And So the first thing I wanted to do was to put some tabs in my book, and I love these tabs. These are watercolored envelopes that I have used, and they're just pretty colors, and because they're pretty colors, they make me happy. And that's another part of what Dede's talking about, that if you choose a topic that you are interested in, if you make your book fun, you will continue to work at it. So because I don't have any, for some unknown reason, I have no painted watercolor paper for some reason. Don't know. So what I'm going to do this morning, real quick, is to take some copyright paper and my good old trusty Crayola watercolors and create some watercolor paper so that I can have some watercolor tabs. I had a paintbrush here, Jared. It'll take a little bit to dry, and I don't know if I will be able to show you what I'm doing on this video, but I know that I will be able to in a future video. And I do not try to get a lot of paint on my paper when I'm making that kind of paper. I just I try to get a pretty wash of color, because that's really what I want. I want a nice pretty wash where the colors bleed together. And oh, that's a horrible green. Let's change it. And I'm going to need 2 or 3 pieces of this paper. So I'm just going to let's see if maybe spraying the paper will help a little, because it's not wanting to. There we go. That's better. And I like the variety or mix of colors that happen when you let the colors bleed together. And one of the reasons that I really like this that Crayola paints is because I like the feel of them. Now, they are, not the high-grade paints that you would want to do a watercolor painting with, but for painting painty paper, for something like this, they work wonderful. Now you want to have a surface prepared to put this when you get it painted, because if you don't, it's wet, and it's going to take a while to dry. So, alright, so now when you go pick this up, you want to just pick it up very carefully and take it somewhere else. And you look at that wonderful mess on the craft mat. And if you take your next piece of paper and lay it down in there, let's see, it will pick up these fun splotchy things. Which is alright with me. Because as I said, I don't mind if my colors mix together. Besides, this side of the paper is going to be a different color. You do want to think about what colors you're putting on there, because you don't want to make mud, but And I do like to keep my palette wet down. Ooh, that's strong. Mm-hmm. Remember, I'm just making paper for tags, or for, yeah, they're tags, aren't they? Tabs is really what they are. Tabs. I'm just making paper for tabs. We'll make one more piece. Oh, that's drippy. By the way, this is a spray bottle from the hair salon area of, I got it at a beauty supply place, is the thing. That's very strong. Woo! I like that it sprays very fine mist. It works great for this kind of a project. Now, with copy paper and this much water, you do want to be really careful when you go pick it up. There was just too much blue right there in the middle. Okay, so that is my painty paper. Now, always leave your paint palette open to get dry. Don't put your paints away wet. Let me get this up from the edge. But see, you can pick this paper up even though it is soppy wet. Oh, I need to get another piece and clean that up, even if I don't paint. This is one thing about having a craft mat instead of paper underneath you. It does mean that there's moisture that stays there, and especially with as much water as I put down. But look at how pretty that is, and that's from sopping up my paint. Okay. Then I have these lists, and I do want to put these lists into my book. So I'll probably be putting them in the front. They're information sheets. Now, one of the things I found is that the composition books are not the same size as copy paper, so I'm going to have to do a little finagling with the pieces to just even glue them in. Probably have to cut them up and glue them in pieces. Ink pens and things to write my notes with and to decorate. Somewhere, these are Pilot G2 pens. I use them all the time. I happen to like the 05s. They're real fine. But I have a set that's different colors, all different colors. And I have found that they do not bleed through the paper. And that's an important thing, because if it bleeds through, then it's going to be on the other side. When I can find my colored ones, then I can do different boxes and things like that. Create that kind of information in the book itself with different colors, kind of making it a fun to look at piece of book. The big thing is, like I said, I want to create this book more as much for the information as for the art of it. I don't even know if I can get this whole thing on the page, so we're going to find out. And like I said, there is a lot of information on the internet, but one of the things I haven't found yet is I have listings by state, but I haven't found a good map by state, or a good way to get a map by state. And that's something I would like to have in my book, is an actual picture of the of where things are within a state. So now another thing is if you fill up a composition book, remember that you might want to think about how you're filling it. If you fill a composition book from front to back and you're adding lots of papers into it, rather than just, say, drawing on it or something, you will find that you need to work from front and then the back and then the front and the back. Otherwise, the whole thing is liable to get cattywampus on you. I have a glue book somewhere. Oh, it went underneath everything. The other thing is, due to the fact that I am thinking about this as sort of a Society of Idea Collectors type idea and book, I am probably going to do some mind mapping things in it, as far as how to put the book together, that kind of thing. I'll probably do that in the back of the book. And I really came on today because I wanted to show you what I had in my mind to do. And I'm not sure I'm going to put this particular list in there right now. This is more the list that I really want to put in because it is a complete list. Now this right now, this is the map I have. Even with my best glasses, I cannot read this, so it really does not help me any. I'm going to have to find something where it's a little bigger and I can see it better. So that's... And this actually is a checklist of all the parks, which I really like. But I don't know if I can get it per page. So I'm going to try cutting it up and seeing what happens. Okay guys, what I have decided is that I want to try to print this list in a smaller, just a little bit smaller. It's very hard to see as it is. I don't know. That page especially does not work very well. If I can get it 5% smaller, it might print down and function. So I'm going to stop the video here for today. This is my plan, is to work on this, and like I said, create a book that is fun and but yet at the same time is the information that I want to learn about the national parks, and use it as part of my investigation of those parks. So I'll be back when I have dry paper and more information that I can get into this book in a manner that I prefer. So, but I would suggest that you check out Dede's video. I will put a link in the description box, of course. We have also started a list of what everybody's projects are in my group and Aunt Beck's group on Facebook, if you are familiar. Those lists tell you what other people are working on. You might be interested in sending them a little piece of happy mail that's for their project if you have something. So you might want to check that out. Make sure you add your topic for your Comp Book 2020 project into the list, and I'll say, oh, there's the train. I'm going to read you a quote from my 1001 Ways to Creativity book and run on and see if I can get some more information that I'm ready to put in. Trying to control everything only leads to frustration and predictability. Learn how to let go of yourself and of your desire to control others. Okay guys, go have fun, make some art. Bye-bye.